Director of Government Relations for Texas Values. We have another big bill today on Memorial Day. By the way, happy Memorial Day. We're still at the Capitol. The legislators are still at the Capitol because we're running against some very tight deadlines. And you already know this because we sent you an email about several bills last week, and one of those bills, thankfully, was able to get on the House calendar and on the major state calendar, which I explained yesterday, and that is Senate Bill 13, and that's to keep explicit pornographic books out of school libraries. You may remember last session there was a bill passed. Unfortunately, because of some of the terms in that bill, parts of it was struck down by the courts, and it was upheld by the Fifth Circuit Court of Appeals, that striking down of certain parts of that law, but certain parts of that law actually were able to be enforced. But this just created a lot of confusion for a lot of school districts, unfortunately, and so we just had a patchwork of school districts doing what they wanted to do, some saying because parts of the law were struck down that they couldn't do anything. Well, no more. Thankfully, our legislators came back the following session and said, we need to immediately address this. Let's have a law with a clear, clean standard upheld by the U.S. Supreme Court, and let's fix some of the issues when it comes to actually addressing the bad books. We've talked to you about certain school districts that have a very long process for addressing books. Actually, in Round Rock ISD, if you make one challenge on a book, you can't bring a challenge on it for the next 2 years. In another school district, the process takes 80 days, and kids are in school for 180 days, which means basically for the majority of that school year, you don't have an answer on a bad book. So this bill also creates a streamlined process for a way for parents to address the bad books, and it works on the front end as well, making sure that parents have a say. They can review some of the books that are coming into the libraries, similar to how we do with health education, where we have those school health advisory councils working together with parents and community members to make sure that they're good for the students. So a lot of good things in this bill. You can go to our website to learn more, but the Texas House has already started. They're already going through the calendar. SB 13 is on page 2, so we want to make sure we get in there. A lot of other good things eligible today too. HB 229, the Women's Bill of Rights, is on the intent calendar for the Senate, so it could be eligible today. So we'll give you an update on whether or not that bill will be voted on in the Senate. And to remember, this is the last step before it actually goes to the governor's desk. So we're very excited that that can become law. But we'll keep you tuned in on whether something happens on the Senate, but I'll be watching the House. Megan will be watching the Senate, and we'll give you more updates soon on great things happening on this Memorial Day at the Texas Capitol. Thanks for tuning in.